Hey, you made it. Welcome. Seriously, welcome. Come on in, grab something warm to drink, and just sit with us for a while.
Hi, everyone. Oh, I'm so glad you're here today because today is a really special one for us.
It really is. If you're new here, welcome, and let's do the proper introduction, shall we?
Yes, I'm Rose,
I'm Leo.
and this is Hello English World.
This is the channel where we talk about real life, real conversations, real English, real stories. No scripts that sound like robots, no stiff textbook language, just us talking the way real people actually talk.
And today we are doing something we've been wanting to do for a long time. We are telling you our stories, our real, honest, sometimes embarrassing, sometimes beautiful stories of how we learned English.
How we went from struggling with basic sentences to being able to express ourselves fully, confidently in this language that we both love so much.
There were highs, there were lows, there were moments of total embarrassment, there were moments of complete joy.
And we're sharing all of it because we want you to know wherever you are in your English journey right now, you are not alone, and it is possible.
Okay, let's go back, way back. Rose, you want to start?
I would love to.
Okay, so my name is Rose, and when I was younger, like really young, maybe 8 or 9 years old, English was just noise to me. I didn't understand it at all. I would hear it on TV, and it just sounded like one long word. Like, how do people even separate the sounds?
Right? Like, how does anyone understand this?
Exactly. It felt completely impossible. And then I started taking English classes at school. And okay, I want to be honest here. I was terrible. Not just bad, terrible.
I find that really hard to believe, honestly.
No, I was. I used to sit in the back of the class and pray the teacher wouldn't call on me because every time she did, I would stand up, open my mouth, and just freeze. Nothing would come out. Or I'd say something completely wrong, and the whole class would laugh.
Oh no, that is the worst feeling.
It is the worst. And I think that's when my fear of speaking English really got locked in. 1 or 2 embarrassing moments, and suddenly your whole body is just, no, we are not doing that again.
Fight or flight response.
Completely. My brain decided that speaking English in public was dangerous. So I became a silent English learner. I studied, I read, I could understand quite a bit, but speaking, absolutely not.
So what changed? Like, what was the turning point for you?
Okay, so this is going to sound so simple, but it changed everything for me. When I was about 14 or 15, I discovered American TV shows, and I became completely, utterly obsessed.
Oh, I feel this story in my soul already.
I started watching with subtitles in my own language first, and I just loved the shows so much that I wanted to understand every single word, not just read a translation. So I switched to English subtitles. And it was hard at first, really hard. I had to pause every few minutes.
But you kept going.
I kept going because I loved the shows. That was the key. I wasn't studying, I was watching something I genuinely loved, and the English was just coming along for the ride.
That is such a powerful point.
And slowly, over weeks, then months, I started noticing that I needed to pause less. I started recognizing phrases I'd heard before. I started laughing at jokes before I even read the subtitle.
That is such a beautiful milestone moment, laughing at the joke before you read it.
It was. It was this moment of, oh my gosh, I actually understood that in real time. And I remember feeling this rush of joy that I can't even describe.
That's the moment you stop learning English and start feeling English.
Yes, exactly. But even then, even when my listening was getting good, I still wasn't speaking. I was still terrified. And I think I was about 17 when I finally had no choice.
What happened?
I got a part-time job at a small shop that had a lot of international customers. And one day, a couple came in. They spoke no language I knew, just English. And they needed help. And it was just me. And I thought, okay, this is it. Do or die.
What did you do?
I spoke with a shaky voice, with probably 100 grammar mistakes, with a thick accent. I spoke. And do you know what those people did?
What?
They smiled. They were so patient. They were so kind. They understood me. We figured it out together. And they said thank you at the end, and they meant it. And I stood there after they left, and I just thought, why was I so scared? Why did I wait so long?
Softly, because nobody told you it was going to be okay.
Because nobody told me it was going to be okay. And that's why we do this. That's why this channel exists. To be the voice that says, it's going to be okay. You're going to be okay.
Okay, I'm not gonna cry. I'm not gonna cry.
Don't you dare make me cry on camera, Leo.
Okay, moving on, because I have my own embarrassing stories and I need to share them right now. All right, my story is a little different from Rose's. Where Rose was quiet and studious and afraid to speak, I was the opposite. I was the kid who would say anything confidently, even if it was completely wrong.
Oh, I can picture this.
Like, I had zero filter, zero embarrassment. My teacher would ask a question in English, and I would just answer with full confidence, completely grammar wrong, words that didn't exist, but with energy.
That takes a certain kind of bravery, honestly.
Or stupidity, the line is thin. But here's the thing. Because I wasn't afraid of being wrong, I practiced constantly. Every chance I got, I was speaking English. Badly, but speaking.
And that practice adds up.
It really does. But here's where my story gets real. When I was about 16, I thought my English was pretty good. I felt confident, I felt solid. And then I met someone, a guy from America who was visiting my city, and I sat down to have a conversation with him.
Uh-oh.
Oh, no is right. But looking back, what came out was honestly barely comprehensible. He was so kind about it. He kept nodding and smiling, but I could tell he was understanding maybe half of what I was saying.
And the things he was saying, I was catching about 30%.
That must have been humbling. It was crushing. I went home that night feeling like everything I thought I knew was wrong. I wasn't good at English. I was just good at pretending I was good at English.
But that realization, as painful as it was, that was a gift.
It was, because it lit a fire under me. Before that moment, I was coasting. I was comfortable. After that moment, I was hungry. I wanted to actually know English, not just fake it.
So what did you do differently?
I changed everything. First, I started listening obsessively. Podcasts, radio, anything I could find, because I realized my listening was a massive weakness. I'd been so busy talking that I hadn't been listening enough.
Oh, that's such an interesting insight.
Right? Speaking and listening are like two legs. If one is much stronger than the other, you walk in circles. I had strong speaking legs, well, confidence at least, but weak listening legs, so I had to build up the listening.
What else?
I started reading in English a lot, and not easy stuff. I pushed myself. Newspapers, books, articles, anything I could get my hands on, because I realized my vocabulary was actually quite limited. I was using the same 200 words over and over, just rearranging them.
The same 200 words?
I'm not exaggerating much. And reading exploded my vocabulary. I remember discovering words that just felt so perfect for things I'd always wanted to say but couldn't, like the word bittersweet. I knew bitter and I knew sweet, but I didn't know that combination. And when I found it, I thought, this is exactly the word I needed.
That feeling of finding the perfect word is incredible.
It's genuinely exciting. Language starts to feel like a toolbox that keeps getting bigger. And the bigger your toolbox, the more things you can build.
I love that. What about your speaking? Did you change your approach there too?
Huge change. I stopped just talking and started listening to how I was talking. I recorded myself speaking and then played it back. And wow. Just wow. I didn't sound like I thought I sounded.
Oh, nobody does the first time they hear a recording of themselves.
It's a real experience. But it was so valuable because I could hear my mistakes. I could hear where my pronunciation was off, where my rhythm was wrong, where I was using phrases that just didn't sound natural.
So you became your own teacher.
Exactly. I became my own teacher. And I think that's one of the most important shifts you can make as a language learner, moving from being a passive student to being an active, self-aware learner, someone who notices their own patterns and works on them.
You know what I find so interesting about our two stories? They're completely different journeys, but they actually complement each other perfectly.
Right? I had the confidence, but not the foundation. You had the foundation, but not the confidence.
And somehow, together, we figured out what actually works, what actually gets you from struggling to fluent.
And I think the big lesson, the one that ties both our stories together, is that there is no single right way to learn English. There is only your way, the way that fits your personality, your schedule, your life.
Absolutely. For me, it was stories, TV shows, novels, real human narratives. That's how my brain connected to the language, through emotion, through characters, through storytelling.
For me, it was conversation and challenge. I needed to be pushed into uncomfortable situations where I had to perform. That's how I grew fastest, when the stakes felt real.
And both of those approaches are completely valid, and most people are somewhere in between.
The important thing is that you know yourself. Are you someone who learns by doing, just jumping in and making mistakes? Or do you need to build a solid base before you feel comfortable performing?
Neither is better, truly. You just need to know which one is you and lean into it.
But here's the thing we both agree on completely. At some point, you have to get out of your comfort zone. You have to speak even when it's scary. You have to engage even when you feel unprepared.
Because fluency lives outside the comfort zone, always.
Always. You cannot read your way to fluency. You cannot study your way to fluency. At some point, you have to open your mouth and let the language come out. Messy and imperfect and human and real.
And when you do, when you push past that fear, something changes in you. Not just your English, something in your whole sense of yourself.
Yes, learning a language makes you braver in a way that goes way beyond language.
Way beyond.
Okay, let's get really practical. Rose and I want to share the specific things that made the biggest difference in our journeys. Not theories, actual experiences.
Lesson 1. Fall in love with something in English. A show, a book, a song, a YouTube creator, a podcast. Find something that genuinely makes you feel something. Joy, excitement, curiosity, anything.
Because when you love the content, you consume it naturally. You come back to it without forcing yourself. And all that consumption quietly, powerfully builds your English.
Lesson 2. Stop waiting to be ready. The magical feeling of readiness never comes. You just have to go. Take the leap.
I spent years waiting to feel confident before speaking. That confidence only came from speaking. It's circular. You have to break the cycle by just doing it.
Lesson 3. Make peace with mistakes. Mistakes are not evidence that you can't learn English. They're evidence that you are learning English.
Every mistake is your brain recalibrating, getting closer. Every wrong turn is teaching you where the right turn is.
Lesson 4. Find your people. A community. Fellow learners, native speakers who are patient and kind, teachers, friends who share your goal. You don't have to do this alone.
And on that note, you are part of our community now. Just by being here, watching this video, you are part of Hello English World, and we are genuinely glad you're here.
We really are.
Lesson 5. Celebrate every win, no matter how small. The first time you dream in English, the first time you think of a word in English before your native language, the first time you make someone laugh with an English joke.
Oh, the first English joke that lands? That is such a moment.
Right? Because humor is the highest level of language. If you can make someone laugh in your second language, you've arrived.
You've truly arrived. Okay, everyone, we are coming to the end of today's episode. And I just want to say thank you from both of us for watching, for being here, for trusting us with your time.
We put our real stories out here today. The embarrassing parts, the hard parts, the beautiful parts. And if even one person watching this feels a little less alone in their English journey, then it was completely worth it.
You are not behind. You are not too late. You are not bad at English. You are exactly where you're supposed to be, on a journey that is uniquely yours, and it is going to be beautiful.
Now, we want to hear your story. Drop a comment below. Tell us where you are in your English journey. Tell us your biggest win. Tell us your biggest fear. Tell us what made you start learning English in the first place.
We read every single comment, everyone, and we reply as much as we possibly can. This community means everything to us.
And if this video spoke to you, if it made you feel something, please give it a thumbs up. It takes 1 second and it truly helps this channel reach more English learners around the world.
If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. Hit the subscribe button and ring the bell. We upload new content regularly. Real conversations, vocabulary lessons, English culture, expressions, pronunciation tips, all the real stuff that actually helps.
And if you know someone on their English journey, a friend, a sibling, a student, a colleague, share this video with them. Be the reason they feel encouraged today.
From me, Rose.
And from me, thank you for being part of Hello English World. Keep going. We believe in you. See you in the next one.
Bye.
See ya.